Hello everyone, welcome to Basics e-learning.
In lesson number 8 video, I am going to explain what is an inverse Z transform and different types of inverse Z transform methods, and also I am going to discuss few problems based on these methods. Previously, I have explained about Z transforms, their properties, and also discussed few problems. So the link which I am going to leave in the description box. Also, module 1 of signals and systems, that is introduction to signals and systems, is also there in the channel, the link of which I am going to leave in the description box. Please go through. As I said in my previous lectures, I have already discussed about Z transform. So if you have any discrete time signal x of n, to convert it into Z domain or frequency domain, that we call it as x of z, we need to apply a Z transform. Right now, after finding x of z, so to recover back your original signal, that means to convert your frequency scale to time domain scale, right? So the recovery of a time domain signal x of n from its Z transformed signal x of z, we use inverse Z transform, right? So once you know x of z, then apply inverse Z transform to find out your time domain signal x of n. There are three methods to find out inverse Z transform of any given signal. The first one is complex inversion integral. Next is partial fraction expansion. And the last one is long division method. So, complex inversion integral, you have one single formula, that is x of n is equal to 1 by 2 pi j closed integral x of z, z power n minus 1 dz. So, if you know x of z, then just right away substitute x of z here to find out your x of n. But this integration process is more tedious. So, you have more in practice here is partial fraction expansion method and long division method. Now, I am going to discuss these two methods along with examples. Partial fraction method or partial fraction expansion method. So to apply this method, the student should have a good knowledge on basic Z transform pairs and also different properties of Z transforms. So already in our channel, I have discussed these pair of Z transforms and also properties. Please check it out. So here in partial fraction method, suppose if you are given with x of z, so x of z is given in the ratio of like both the numerator and denominator are the polynomials of z. So both are functions of z, f of z by some g of z, right? So x of n can be found from this x of z by using partial fraction expansion approach. So now you have to bring this it in the form of x of z by z is equal to something, right? So the given function you have to bring it out in this form, right? The partial, then you can apply partial fractions. So that is on the denominator you can divide the denominator into fractions. Then the process is very easy. I'll explain this method in detail with some example here. Now consider a problem. X of z is equal to z divided by 3z square minus 4z plus 1. So now we have to solve this problem to find out x of n using partial fraction expansion method. So as I said, first step is bring it in the form of x of z by z. The given problem is very simple, as the numerator has only z here, that I am taking it to a left hand side, then it is in the required form only. Very simply you can bring it in the form of that x of z by z. Now write down the factors for the denominator, right? So if you can write down the factors here, see, you always write it in the form of z minus something, always z minus something type, right? So as I said, always the denominator has to be of z minus something format only, so that you can write it for the given ROC, any given ROC. Here they have asked you to find out x of n for the given ROC mod z greater than 1, mod z less than 1 by 3, and also mod z less than 1 by 3 and less than 1, right? So always remember your denominator should be of this form. So I'll try to write the factors for the denominator in the same format. So take it 3z square minus 4z plus 1, right? So this is, you know, right, this is 3, right? So I am writing 3z square minus 3z minus z plus 1. Now you take 3z common, it will be z minus 1. Again here also z minus 1, so that I can take minus 1. So the factors that I am getting are 3z minus 1 into z minus 1. So as I said, always the denominator has to be only z minus 1 format, z minus something format, but here I have 3z minus something. So you take 3 out here so that it will come into that required format, right? So now I am trying to write down that 3 outside. So see here, it will be 3 if you take it out, z minus 1 by 3 into z minus 1. So this is your x of z by z. X of z by z. Now you have to do the partial fraction expansion like in your mathematics. So now this I will write it as, in partial fraction method, I can write it as k1 z minus 1 by 3 plus k2 divided by z minus 1. That is, this product I am writing in the form of summation. Now I have to find out k1 and k2. So to find out the k1 constant, so that is z minus 1 by 3 multiplied by x of z by z, that is nothing but 1 by 3 into z minus 1 by 3 z minus 1. So here what I am getting is 1 by 3 into z minus 1, where z is equal to 1 by 3. So if you put z is equal to 1 by 3 here, what we'll get here is minus 1 by 2. Then for k2 also write it down, z minus 1 into x of z by z. See here I have k2 is the numerator for the factor z minus 1. So to find out k2, you just bring x of z to the other side, right? So that it will be k2 is x of z into x of z by z into z minus 1. Just you neglect this k1 divided by z minus 1 by 3. That means you are taking this as 0 here. Right, now divided by 3 into z minus 1 by 3 into z minus 1, where z is equal to 1 here. So this will get cancelled. You put z is equal to 1, then you will get it as 1 by 2. Right, now put them back in the equation, x of z by z. Substitute k1 and k2 values. So here I will get minus 1 by 2 into 1 by z minus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 2 into z by z minus 1. This is what? X of z by z. So after finding the values of k1 and k2, then substituting, I got the equation of x of z by z like this. Now you bring this z to the other side so that you can write for x of z. So I am trying to write down x of z, that is equal to minus z divided by 2 into z minus 1 by 3 plus z divided by 2 into z minus 1. Now this is of your familiar form, right? So z divided by z minus something format. Now you can write down your x of n simply by using your given ROC. So the first case they have given is for ROC mod z greater than 1. So here from the given x of z, you have two poles. One is at z is equal to 1 by 3 and at z is equal to 1 is the other pole. This is at z is equal to 1 by 3 and this is at z is equal to 1. So draw two circles, one with radius 1 by 3 and the other one with radius 1 here, right? So now what they have given? They have given mod z is greater than 1. Means here after 1, right? So this is your ROC, right? So for this we have to write down your x of n, right? So here x of n, if you see from the origin, see here from the origin, this is the origin here. So from the origin, if you are finding out the pole first, right, then you take it as u of n, that is ROC will give you positive time sequence of x of n, right? Then after that, after ROC, if you are finding out a pole, then you take negative side sequence. See here, first I am getting a pole of 1 by 3. So for 1 by 3, you have to write it as u of n. Then here, move on, move on slowly. Then again I am getting a pole of 1. So for the term that is related to 1 pole, that is also you take it as u of n. After that only I am getting ROC. So both the poles are within ROC only. So that's why you take both as u of n. Your region of convergence is after 1, right? So both 1 by 3 and 1 are before ROC only. So that's why you take both as u of n. So this will be of the form a power n u of n, right? So a power n u of n is nothing but z by z minus a. So if you compare this, minus 1 by 2 I have. So the remaining is z by z minus 1 by 3. That is nothing but 1 by 3 whole power n. A by a power n u of n, right? That is nothing but z by z minus a. Similarly, the second term 1 by 2 into 1 whole power n u of n, right? I am just comparing with the standard form a power n u of n. For that, it is z by z minus a, right? So from here I got my x of n as like this for mod z greater than 1. This is case 1 here. Case 2, you are given with for mod z less than 1 by 3, you have to find out your x of n. Again, take down the graph. So you have two poles, one is at 1 by 3 and one is at 1. So draw two unit circles, right? Two circles, sorry, not unit circles. Now mark your ROC. ROC is less than 1 by 3. So this is your ROC. Now check it out. Your two poles are outside ROC, then it is a negative side sequence. If the poles are outside ROC, then you have to take it as negative side sequence. If poles are inside the ROC, that is after that ROC is coming, that is first poles are coming, then ROC is coming, then you have to take it as positive side sequence. Now here in this case, first ROC is coming, after that two poles are occurring, right? Then you take it as negative side sequence. So negative side sequence means it is minus b power n u of minus n minus 1. That is nothing but what? Z by z minus b. So upon comparing this with your x of z, you will get x of n as 1 by 2 into 1 by 3 whole power n u of minus n minus 1 minus 1 by 2 into, as I don't have minus, I am taking minus extra, 1 whole power n u of minus n minus 1, right? So this is the required x of n for the given x of z for mod z less than 1 by 3 if you are considering that as ROC. Case 3, they have given ROC is between 1 by 3 and 1. So it will look like this, right? So this is z is equal to 1 by 3 and this is something z is equal to 1. So your ROC is here between 1 by 3 and 1, right? So this part, the shaded part is your ROC. Now, what about your x of n? As I said, move from the origin. It's a easy method. Move from the origin. If I'm moving from the origin, I got first 1 by 3. So the term that is related to 1 by 3, you take it as u of n. Then I'm getting ROC. After that ROC, if you are getting any other pole, that you have to take it as negative side sequence, that is u of minus n minus 1. So here I am getting 1 after my ROC. That you have to consider the related term as minus u of minus n minus 1. So your x of n here will be minus 1 by 2, 1 by a power n u of n, right? So 1 by 3 whole power n u of n minus 1 by 2 into u of minus n minus 1. 1 whole power n is nothing but 1 only, right? So for the first part I am using a power n u of n, that is z by z minus a. For the second part I am using b power n, right? Minus b power n u of minus n minus 1. That is nothing but z by z minus b. So reverse way you are going to find out your x of n. The next problem that I have chosen here is find the inverse z transform of x of z is equal to z into z plus 1 divided by z minus 1 whole square into z minus half. Further given ROC mod z greater than 1. So again we have to solve this problem using partial fraction expansion method. So here I have chosen the problem with multiple roots. See, in the denominator you have z minus 1 whole square. Means you have two roots at z is equal to 1. Z minus 1 whole square is equal to 0. Means z is equal to 1 and z is equal to 1. These are the two multiple roots. So we will see how to solve such type of problems. So as I said, first step we have to write the given problem in the form of x of z by z. So in the left hand side, right hand side of my problem, I have z here, right? So that I am writing to the other side. I am bringing this z to the other side, that is onto my right hand side. Then it will be x of z by z is equal to z plus 1 divided by z minus 1 whole square into z minus half. So this product, I will try to write down this in the form of your summation. So that will be a by z minus 1 whole square plus b by z minus 1 plus c by z minus 1 by 2. See here, if you have whole square in the denominator, you have to take two different variables a and b. One is for z minus 1 whole square and one is for z minus 1. If you have suppose a z minus 1 whole cube, then you have to write three terms: a by z minus 1 whole cube, b by z minus 1 whole square, and c by z minus 1. So this is how you have to divide this. Now we have to find out the variables a, b and c here. So to calculate the variables, a, I have to write this as z minus 1 whole square. The term that is associated with a, the denominator, it is z minus 1 whole square multiplied by x of z by z, where your z is equal to 1. This is the way to write down. So let us write it down. Z minus 1 whole square into what is x of z by z? Z plus 1 divided by z minus 1 whole square into z minus half. So let us write z plus 1 divided by z minus 1 whole square into z minus half. So this z minus 1 whole square will get cancelled. So put z is equal to 1 in this equation. So if you write in the numerator z is equal to 1, I'll get 1 plus 1, 2 divided by 1 minus half, that will be half. So this is 4. So the value of a is equal to 4 here. Now to find out the value of b here, you have to go with the partial fraction expansion method again. So for that, as you have multiple roots 2, for that you are writing the term separately as z minus 1 here. So it will be like the formula 1 by 2 minus 1 factorial, right? So as you have two roots here, you have to go with one time derivation, d by dz of the remaining, that is z plus 1 divided by z minus 1 by 2, where z is equal to 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. So 1 by 1 factorial, that is nothing but 1 only. Again, you go with u by v method, d by dz of u by v. So here I'll write v square in the denominator, v into u dash, that is z plus 1. So dz, that will be 1 minus u into v dash, that will be again 1. So this you write it z minus 1 by 2 minus z minus 1 divided by z minus 1 by 2 whole square. So this will get cancelled. What I am getting in the numerator is minus 3 by 2 into z minus 1 by 2 whole square. So put z is equal to 1 here. So 1 minus 1 by 2, that will be 1 by 2 whole square. So 3 by 2 into 1 by 2 whole square, that will be 1 by 4. So as it goes up, 4 by 1. So this will go 2 times. So the answer is minus 6. So the value of b here I am getting is minus 6. Same way, let us calculate for c. So c is given by here. Z minus 1 by 2 is the term multiplied by x of z by z at z is equal to 1 by 2. So put them z minus 1 by 2. X of z by z is what? Z plus 1 divided by z minus 1 whole square multiplied by z minus 1 by 2. So this z minus 1 by 2 will get cancelled. Now in the remaining term, put z is equal to 1 by 2. 1 by 2 plus 1 divided by 1 by 2 minus 1 whole square. So this is, numerator is 3 by 2, denominator is 1 by 4. So this I'll get it as into 3 by 2 into 4. So this will be 6. So the value of C is 6 here. So after getting the values of A, B and C, put them back in the equation. So where in place of A I am writing 4 divided by z minus 1 whole square plus minus 6 divided by z minus 1 plus 6 divided by z minus 1 by 2. Right? So now I have, this is nothing but x of z by z. But what all I need is x of z. So you bring this z to the other side. So I get my x of z is equal to 4z divided by z minus 1 whole square plus minus 6z divided by z minus 1 plus 6z divided by z minus 1 by 2. So now if you see, this is of that standard form, z by z minus something, z by z minus something, z by z minus something. So if you equate these denominators to zeros, you will get that root of that particular term. So that is the roots of this whole expression I can write here. Z minus 1 whole square is equal to 0, means z is equal to 1. So there are two roots at z is equal to 1. So I am drawing two roots at z is equal to 1. See here, z is equal to 1, two roots. And similarly, I have another root at z is equal to half. Let me draw. So this is z is equal to half. So you will have two circles. One is at z is equal to 1 by 2 and one is at z is equal to 1. Right? So they have asked you to find out the value of x of n for mod z greater than 1. So mod z greater than 1 means, see, if you are taking this as the entire z plane, so this is your mod z greater than 1. Right. So the shaded region indicates the region of convergence that is mod z greater than 1. So now I have to write, or I have to find out x of n for mod z greater than 1. So for that you have to start counting from here, from the center. As you are getting first your 0, that you have to consider it as u of n. Right? Then again you are getting another 0. Right? So both the poles are occurring before your ROC only. Then anyhow you have to consider both the poles as u of n only. That is positive side sequence. Right? So x of n can be written like this. 4. See, if you see, this is z by z minus 1 whole square. Right? So whole square if you have, that is your ramp function, right? So that will be n into u of n you can write. If it is only z minus 1, then you can take u of n. But I have whole square, right? So that's why it is n into u of n. It's a ramp function. So minus 6 into z by z minus a. So that is nothing but a power n into u of n. 1 power n is 1. So u of n is the remaining. Plus 6 into, again, z by z minus a form only, because the ROC is lying outside, right? So again 1 a power n whole power n, 1 by 2 whole power n u of n. So this is your required x of n for the given ROC here. The next method I am going to discuss is long division method. As already I have explained, partial fraction expansion method. There if you have multiple roots, it is the complex process to calculate the roots. Right now we will see the easiest method, that is long division method. So we know x of z is given by sigma n is running from minus infinity to infinity, x of n z power minus n. Let us expand this. So this will be something x power minus 1 z power 1 plus x of 0 plus x of 1. This is minus 1, sorry. So x of 1 z power minus 1 plus x of 2 z power minus 2 plus so on, it will continue. Right? Now if this x of z is expanded like this in the power series method, so if you observe, all the terms, that is, if the sequence is causal, only your right hand side sequence, the powers will have all negative powers, right? So if it is a negative sided sequence, all the powers will have only positive exponents here, right? Suppose if it is an annular region, that is both, if you have, then the powers will have both positive and negative. So using this long division method, it is useful compared to the partial fraction expansion method. It's the easiest way to get the quick answer after observing this type of sequence by first 4 to 5 methods only. So the basic key thing is, if you are getting the powers in the negatives, that's a causal sequence. If you are getting the powers in the positive, that's an anti-causal sequence, right? If you are getting both, it's a double-sided sequence. So using this power series expansion, we are inculcating the same method in long division method. Let us see one problem here based on partial fraction expansion method. So x of z is equal to, given z divided by 2z square minus 3z plus 1, right? Power series expansion method or long division method we call. So given ROC is mod z less than 1 by 2, they are telling, right? So here if you observe, x of z has poles. First you have to find out the poles here. So let us see, try to write down the poles here. So this is 2z square minus 2z minus z plus 1. So I am just writing the poles here. So this will be 2z, if you take common, that will be z minus 1. Again minus 1, you take z minus 1. So this can be written as z by 2z minus 1 into z minus 1. Means it has two poles. One is at z is equal to 1 by 2 and one is at z is equal to 1, right? So as they have given, the ROC is mod z is less than half. So let us draw that first. So this is at z is equal to 1 by 2 and z is equal to 1. Means I have two circles at two poles. One is at z is equal to 1 by 2 and one is at z is equal to 1, right? But the given ROC is mod z less than 1 by 2, like this, right? So these two poles are now outside your ROC, right? Both the poles, z is equal to half and z is equal to 1 here. Both the poles are lying outside the ROC. Means it's a negative time sequence, obviously, right? So as it's a negative time sequence, the long division, you have to take it as a quotient having only positive series, right? Positive power series of z here. Understood, right? As it's a negative time sequence, all the z powers will be only positive here. So for such type of problems, how to do the long division, I'll explain. So numerator, you write it as z only. Now the denominator, it is 2z square minus 3z plus 1. So now as it is a negative side sequence, you take it in the increasing order of powers. That is 1 minus 3z plus 2z square, so that you will get your powers in the positive only, not in the negative, right? So now you take the long division. So I'll write it z, so that 1 into z is z minus 3z square plus 2z cube, right? So this I'll just subtract so that this term will get cancelled. So the remaining here I'm getting as 3z square minus 2z cube. So again, to cancel 3z square, I have to multiply 1 with 3z square, right? So plus 3z square. Always do this. The first term has to get cancelled like normal division method only, right? So 3z square. So multiply this 3z square with each and every term in the denominator. So 1 into 3z square minus 3z into plus 3z square, that is minus 9z cube. Similarly, plus 2z square and 3z square. So that will be plus 6z bar 4, right? So this will get cancelled. Subtract. So I'll get 7z cube minus 6z bar 4. Again, I'll just multiply with 7z cube here. So what I'll get is 7z cube minus 21z bar 4 plus 14z bar 5, right? Now you do the subtraction again here. So I'll get, this will get cancelled. I'll get here 15z power 4 minus 14z power 5, right? So this process will continue. As I said, in the first 2-3 terms itself, you can identify the sequence here. So here, in the long division method, whatever the quotient that you are getting in the long division method, that you have to write it down. Like all the first terms here, you can write it. That is 15z power 4, 7z cube, 3z square and z, or else you can take down the quotient here itself directly, right? The other next quotient will be 15z power 4 only, right? So this will be your answer now. X of n, that x of z quotient, you take it in the increasing order, the powers of positive, that is in the decreasing order you have to take. This will be continuing, no, right? So that is so on, comma, plus 15z power 4 plus 7z cube plus 3z square plus z. Z will be the last term, right? As it is a negative time sequence, z power 1 will be the last one, right? X of 1, z power 1. This will be that one, right? So x of n, if you are writing, you will be getting the sequence. All the coefficient you write 15, 7, 3, 1, 0 only, right? From there onwards, it will be 0 only. So this is the way to find out x of n using long division method or power series expansion method. By inspecting the first 3 to 4 terms itself, you will get the sequence here.
For more videos, please do like, share, subscribe to our channel. Let us know your suggestions and queries in the comment box. Thank you.